An intelligent woman, one who has been fashioned with wisdom and discernment, understands the weight of discretion. She guards her heart and her life with a quiet strength, knowing that there are some things that must remain private at any cost. In this world where words are spoken recklessly and lives are often put on display, it is rare and valuable for a woman to protect what truly matters to her. An intelligent woman, one of true wisdom, understands the weight of her personal struggles. Life is a constant battle, one filled with moments of joy, but also moments of deep trial and hardship. It is in these moments that she chooses discretion, preferring not to broadcast her inner turmoil for all to see. This decision is not born out of pride or a desire for secrecy, but rather a deep understanding of the power that lies in silence. She knows that not every struggle needs to be shared, nor should every hardship become the concern of others. The world around her is filled with voices clamoring for attention, each demanding their place in the spotlight. Yet the wise woman chooses silence in the face of her battles. She holds her struggles close, understanding that not all pain is meant to be shared. She recognizes that some experiences are so personal, so deep, that they require only the healing touch of time and, above all, the quiet strength of God. In keeping these struggles private, she honors her own journey and the sacredness of her growth. One of the greatest gifts an intelligent woman possesses is the ability to navigate through hardship without constantly seeking the sympathy of others. She does not burden her friends or family with every emotional wound, every setback, or every fleeting doubt. Instead, she quietly addresses the pain within, trusting that it is in the private moments of prayer, reflection, and self-examination that true healing occurs. She has learned that the presence of others, while comforting, is not always what will mend her brokenness. The healing process begins within and flows outward. This discretion is not about hiding vulnerability, but rather about protecting it. Vulnerability is a sacred space, a place where she can wrestle with her fears and uncertainties and emerge stronger on the other side. An intelligent woman knows that not everyone is equipped to handle the weight of her burdens. To share every emotional wound would not only risk further hurt, but would also diminish the power of her healing journey. She keeps her struggles private because she knows that the process of working through them is uniquely hers. By keeping her personal struggles to herself, she protects her mental and emotional well-being. Sharing too much too soon can invite judgment, unsolicited advice, or unnecessary worry from others. It is easy for the voices of others to drown out her own inner wisdom, to make her feel as though she is less capable of handling her pain. But she refuses to allow her inner strength to be overshadowed by the opinions or well-meaning interventions of others. She understands that healing is an inward journey, one that requires patience, quietness, and a deep connection to her faith. In addition, the intelligent woman knows that her struggles can be a source of strength, not only for herself but for others, but they must first be overcome before they can be shared as a testimony. There is a time for everything, a time to walk through the dark valleys in solitude, and a time to emerge into the light with a story to share. She understands that the process of recovery must come before the story of victory. She does not rush her healing, nor does she demand validation from others to confirm her strength. Moreover, keeping her struggles to herself allows her to maintain her focus. Life is full of distractions, and it can be easy to become consumed by the opinions and concerns of others. Yet, an intelligent woman knows that her primary focus should be on her own growth and on God's guidance through the difficult moments. She doesn't allow her struggles to become a spectacle that takes away from her mission. She knows that there is a divine purpose in her pain, and that purpose is best realized when she seeks God in private and trusts Him with her journey. This silence also allows her to retain her dignity and self-respect. When she faces difficulty, she does so with grace and composure, never allowing herself to be reduced to her struggles alone. The intelligent woman understands that while she may be experiencing pain, she is not defined by it. Her struggles do not diminish her worth or beauty. They are simply a part of her story, one chapter in a much larger narrative, By choosing silence, she maintains control over how her story is told, preserving her dignity in the face of adversity. She understands the value of setting boundaries around her emotional life. Not everyone is entitled to know the depths of her pain. While she may have a few trusted individuals to confide in, she does not make her struggles public knowledge. This is not because she fears judgment, but because she values the sanctity of her inner life. Her struggles are sacred, and only those who have earned her trust are allowed entry into her personal world. She knows that not everyone will understand her pain, and so she guards her heart from unnecessary intrusion. Lastly, the intelligent woman keeps her struggles to herself because she has a deep trust in God's ability to carry her through. She knows that her ultimate source of strength lies not in the sympathy or advice of others, but in the power of prayer, faith, and the quiet presence of God. Her struggles are entrusted to Him, knowing that He sees her, understands her pain, and will provide the strength she needs to overcome. This trust in God is the foundation upon which she builds her resilience, knowing that in her silence she is not alone. God is with her every step of the way. In conclusion, the intelligent woman chooses to keep her personal struggles private because she understands that it is not the sharing of every detail that brings healing, but the quiet, faithful processing of her pain with God. She guards her heart, values her emotional space, and trusts that in the stillness she will find the strength to rise again. It is through this discretion that she maintains her dignity, her peace, and her connection to the divine. An intelligent woman understands that not every dream, goal, or ambition must be revealed to the world at once. She knows the value of keeping certain aspirations close to her heart, understanding that some plans require time and patience to unfold. While others may be quick to share their hopes and desires, she chooses quietude, recognizing that her goals are precious seeds that need the right environment in which to grow. This discernment is not born from secrecy, but from a deep wisdom that realizes the importance of timing and the nurturing process required for dreams to mature. The world often encourages premature declarations, pushing individuals to talk about their goals before they are ready. It is a culture that values loud declarations and public recognition, believing that the pursuit of success must be announced and celebrated at every turn. However, the intelligent woman sees beyond this, understanding that there is wisdom in waiting. She knows that the early stages of any goal, especially those of great importance, require quiet contemplation and a steady hand to guide them. There is no rush to share something that is still in its infancy. Some dreams require space to breathe and grow without the pressure of outside expectations. Her goals are not for show, but for substance. She recognizes that success does not always need to be flaunted to be real. A woman who is truly intelligent in her pursuits knows that the glory of her accomplishments will not come from the applause of others, but from the personal satisfaction of knowing that she has stayed true to herself and to the purpose she has set for her life. By keeping her ambitions to herself, she protects the integrity of her dreams, shielding them from the unsolicited opinions, judgments, or critiques of others. It is only through this protection that her dreams will have the space to blossom fully. In a world that often promotes instant gratification and the quick sharing of every milestone, she resists the urge to announce her goals prematurely. Instead, she understands that certain aspirations are delicate, like seedlings that require time to establish their roots before they can be seen in full bloom. She knows that just because an idea or dream has entered her heart does not mean it is time to share it with the world. Some goals need the security of solitude and silence to gain the strength they need before they can be exposed to the gaze of others. The intelligent woman understands that revealing her goals too soon can often lead to unnecessary distractions. The world is full of well-meaning advice, opinions, and even criticisms, and while these may come from a place of concern or support, they can also cloud her judgment. She knows that if her goals are not fully formed, the external noise may cause her to doubt or shift her direction. Silence and privacy provide the space for clarity of thought and undisturbed focus. By keeping her plans to herself, she can avoid the external pressure to conform to other people's expectations of success. Moreover, the intelligent woman understands that not all goals are meant to be shared immediately, because the act of revealing them too early can invite a sense of comparison or competition. In a society that often measures success by visible achievements, the temptation to compare one's goals to others can be overwhelming. She knows that her journey is unique, and therefore her path to success should not be subjected to comparison. By keeping her ambitions private, she shields herself from the danger of measuring her progress against others, choosing instead to stay focused on her own timeline and purpose. There is also wisdom in understanding that not everyone in her life will be able to see her vision clearly. People often see what is in front of them, not the deep desires and long-term plans that may be quietly forming in the heart. She knows that the people around her, though well-meaning, may not always understand the full scope of her aspirations or the reasons behind them. Sharing a goal too soon can lead to misinterpretation or discouragement. Therefore, she chooses to hold her goals close, sharing them only with those who truly understand and support her journey. Another reason for the intelligent woman's discretion is the understanding that goals and dreams must be nurtured by faith and action before they can be publicly acknowledged. The journey toward fulfilling a dream is often filled with obstacles, setbacks, and moments of doubt. By keeping her aspirations private, she allows herself the grace to fail, to regroup, and to try again without the weight of public expectations. She knows that the road to achievement is often more difficult than it appears, and sometimes the most important progress is made in the quiet moments, away from the eyes of others. She also understands that some goals require spiritual growth and deep personal transformation before they can be shared with the world. Her dreams are not merely personal ambitions, they are often part of a greater purpose that involves serving others and making a positive impact. Because of this, she knows that her journey must be tempered by spiritual maturity. Keeping her goals to herself allows her to align her dreams with God's will, to pray, and to discern the right path. She does not seek the approval of others before seeking God's guidance, for she knows that His timing and His plans are far greater than any human timeline. Lastly, the intelligent woman realizes that there is power in the quietness of her ambitions. By allowing her dreams to grow in silence, she creates space for them to evolve and take shape in ways that she could never have anticipated. There is a certain magic that happens when one allows their goals to unfold naturally, without the pressure of external forces shaping them. By keeping her ambitions private, she protects the sanctity of her vision, allowing it to mature into something truly beautiful and impactful in its own time. In conclusion, an intelligent woman keeps her goals and ambitions private because she understands that some dreams require time, nurturing, and silence to fully bloom. By keeping her plans to herself, she shields her dreams from the distractions and pressures of the world, allowing them to grow in their own time and space. She trusts in the quiet strength of her journey, knowing that the best things in life often come in their own season, when they have had the time and care to truly take root. An intelligent woman understands the importance of financial discretion. Money is often a sensitive topic, one that can provoke a range of emotions and judgments. To keep her finances private is not out of pride or shame, but from a deep sense of wisdom and self-respect. She recognizes that financial matters are deeply personal, and sharing too much about them can invite unnecessary opinions, envy, or advice that is neither requested nor relevant to her situation. She values her privacy and chooses to keep her financial details out of the public eye, understanding that such matters are best managed in silence and discretion. She knows that when others are aware of her financial situation, it opens the door to comparisons, assumptions, and even judgments. People tend to form opinions based on what they think they know, and in the case of finances, these opinions can be based on little more than external appearances. An intelligent woman understands that financial matters are complex and cannot be accurately assessed based on surface-level observations. By keeping her financial affairs private, she protects herself from the unsolicited judgments and misunderstandings that can arise when others presume to know the full story. Moreover, financial privacy protects her from the subtle influence that can come from others. Everyone has advice, whether it's about how to save, how to spend, or how to invest. While some advice can be helpful, there is a danger in allowing too many voices into her financial decisions. The intelligent woman knows that her finances are personal and that only a select few, such as trusted financial advisors or close family members, should have a say in how she handles her money. By keeping her financial matters private, she preserves her ability to make decisions based on her own values and needs, without being swayed by external pressures. Additionally, financial privacy is an important form of boundary setting. When others know too much about her financial situation, it can create expectations or even demands that she feels compelled to meet. Whether it's friends asking for loans or family members making assumptions about what she can afford, these situations can create tension and strain relationships. By keeping her finances to herself, she sets clear boundaries that protect both her financial stability and her personal relationships. She knows that when her financial decisions are shared too openly, it can lead to feelings of obligation and unnecessary stress. Finally, the intelligent woman knows that keeping her relationships private strengthens the trust and loyalty within them. When a relationship is protected from unnecessary external influence, it builds a sense of safety and intimacy between the individuals involved. Trust is the foundation of any healthy relationship, and when others are not privy to every detail, it fosters an environment where both parties feel secure and respected. She understands that the more she allows others to be involved in her relationship, the more potential there is for it to become fragile or strained. By maintaining privacy, she cultivates a deeper level of trust and loyalty in her relationships. In conclusion, the intelligent woman understands the importance of privacy in her relationships. She values discretion that keeps the sanctity of her personal life away from unnecessary public attention and judgment. By keeping her relationships private, she protects them from outside interference, preserves her personal boundaries, and nurtures the unique bond she shares with those she loves. This wisdom allows her to maintain stronger, more meaningful connections and ensures that her relationships remain grounded in trust, respect, and mutual understanding. An intelligent woman recognizes that her spiritual journey is an intimate and sacred process, one that is deeply personal and between her and God. She understands that her relationship with her Creator is unique and cannot be fully understood or appreciated by others unless they too walk in faith. The depth of her spirituality is not for display or for the judgment of others. While many may feel the need to share every moment of their spiritual walk with the world, she knows that true intimacy with God often flourishes in the quiet spaces of her heart and mind. She has learned that her faith is a journey, not a spectacle. It is a path of growth, reflection, and transformation that takes place in the secret places where only God sees. She chooses not to broadcast every prayer, every moment of worship, or every spiritual insight she receives. Her spiritual life is not for public consumption, and she does not seek validation from others to measure her closeness with God. Instead, her motivation is pure, as she strives to grow deeper in her relationship with Him in private moments of prayer, meditation, and reflection. And the intelligent woman understands that in this world of constant digital exposure, there is a temptation to share every aspect of one's life, including the spiritual. However, she knows that not all aspects of her spiritual journey are meant to be shared. Some moments of personal growth are quiet and unspoken, experienced only in the solitude of prayer or in the stillness of her soul. She values these moments, where her soul connects deeply with God, and she cherishes the privacy that allows her to grow without distraction. Her relationship with God is a sacred bond, and she believes that it is strengthened through personal devotion. While she may speak of her faith in public settings or with those she trusts, she is careful not to reveal every part of her spiritual life. She knows that some experiences, such as the quiet moments of prayer, the personal revelations she receives, and the struggles she faces in her walk with God, are hers to keep. These private experiences are foundational to her spiritual growth and should not be exposed for the sake of others' opinions or validation. In her silence, she fosters a deeper connection with God. The intelligent woman understands that the more she speaks of her spiritual life to others, the more she risks diluting the precious moments she shares with her Creator. There is a sacred space between her and God that cannot be replicated or understood by anyone else. By keeping her spiritual journey private, she ensures that her moments with God remain pure and untarnished by external influences. She learns to seek Him alone, trusting that her intimacy with Him is not for the eyes of others, but for the growth of her soul. She also recognizes that the spiritual journey is not always easy, and there are moments of doubt, struggle, and hardship. During these times, her faith is tested, and she chooses to deal with these challenges in private. She does not feel the need to broadcast her struggles or to seek sympathy from others. Instead, she turns to God in the privacy of her heart, seeking His guidance and strength. This private communication with God allows her to find comfort and peace without the need for others to validate her pain or her journey. Her spirituality is not an act of performance. While some people may use their faith as a way to gain approval or admiration from others, she does not seek that kind of recognition. Her faith is not measured by how many people see her pray or how often she shares her spiritual insights with others. She knows that her relationship with God is her most valuable asset, and it is a relationship that is nurtured in the quiet moments, away from the applause of the world. She values authenticity and knows that true faith is seen in the private moments, not in the public display. The intelligent woman also understands that there is wisdom in keeping her spiritual practices private, especially when it comes to prayer and fasting. These spiritual disciplines are meant to be done in secret, as Jesus taught in the Gospels, so that they may be rewarded by God and not by the admiration of people. She takes to heart the words of Jesus, who said, "But when you pray, go into your room, close the door and pray to your Father who is unseen, then your Father, who sees what is done in secret, will reward you." This principle of keeping her spiritual life private allows her to grow without the distractions or judgments of others. There is also a sense of humility in keeping her spiritual journey private. She understands that her walk with God is not about impressing others with how holy or pious she appears. Instead, it is about a genuine desire to grow closer to God and to be transformed by His grace. By keeping her spiritual practices to herself, she remains humble, recognizing that her faith is a gift from God and not something to boast about. She knows that the true measure of her spiritual life is not in what others see, but in the sincerity of her heart. In addition, she recognizes that everyone's spiritual journey is different. What may work for her in her relationship with God may not work for someone else. She does not feel the need to compare her faith journey to others, nor does she feel the need to share every personal detail of it. She respects the uniqueness of her path and understands that God deals with each of His children in a way that is tailored to their individual needs. By keeping her spiritual life private, she creates space for God to work in her without external interference or comparison. Her quietness about her spiritual journey also helps her avoid the temptation of spiritual pride. There is a danger in making one's spiritual practices public, as it can lead to pride and the desire to appear more holy than others. The intelligent woman knows that true humility is in walking closely with God, not in showing off one's spiritual achievements to the world. By keeping her spiritual journey private, she guards against the temptation to boast and remains focused on her relationship with God. She also understands the power of silence in cultivating a deeper connection with God. In a world that is constantly noisy and filled with distractions, the intelligent woman knows that silence is a powerful tool for spiritual growth. It is in the silence of prayer, meditation, and reflection that she hears God's voice most clearly. By choosing to keep her spiritual journey private, she creates space for God to speak to her heart, undistracted by the opinions of others or the pressures of the world. Silence allows her to draw closer to God and to hear His whispers in the stillness. Finally, she knows that her spiritual journey is a personal testimony. While she may share glimpses of her faith through actions or words, she does not feel the need to display every moment of her journey. Her faith is a living testimony that speaks through her actions, her love for others, and her commitment to living out God's Word. She trusts that her spiritual growth will be evident in the way she lives, and she does not need to share every detail to prove her faith. By keeping her spiritual life private, she allows God to work in her in the way He sees fit, without the interference or judgment of others. In conclusion, the intelligent woman values the privacy of her spiritual journey. She understands that her relationship with God is deeply personal and should not be shared for the sake of public opinion. By keeping her spiritual life private, she fosters a deeper, more authentic relationship with God and allows Him to work in her in quiet, powerful ways. She knows that true spiritual growth happens in the secret places of the heart, where she is free to seek God's will without distraction. It is in these private moments that she is transformed, and her faith becomes a living testament to His love and grace. An intelligent woman understands the power of her emotions and the impact they can have on her well-being and relationships. She knows that emotions are natural, but she exercises control over them, recognizing that unchecked emotional responses can lead to regret and misunderstandings. While emotions are part of the human experience, she is not ruled by them. Instead, she remains grounded and poised, always mindful of the weight of her words and actions. Her ability to maintain emotional control is a testament to her emotional intelligence, where she chooses to respond rather than react. In moments of heightened emotion, she knows that a calm and composed response is often the most powerful. Rather than giving in to the immediate rush of anger, frustration, or sadness, she takes a step back and pauses. This moment of silence allows her to assess the situation, process her emotions, and decide how best to respond. By taking the time to reflect, she avoids acting impulsively and makes decisions that are thoughtful and considerate. She understands that an emotional reaction can often escalate a situation, while a measured response can bring clarity and peace. One of the key aspects of emotional control is not allowing others to manipulate or provoke her emotions. The intelligent woman recognizes that people may try to elicit a certain reaction from her, whether through criticism, flattery, or even emotional manipulation. She is aware of these tactics and chooses not to allow others to have power over her emotional state. She remains true to herself and her values, not swayed by the opinions or behavior of others. In this way, she takes control of her emotional responses, ensuring that they come from a place of inner strength rather than external influence. Furthermore, she understands that emotional transparency has its time and place. While she is not afraid to express her feelings when necessary, she knows that there are times when it is best to keep her emotions private. She shares her emotions with trusted individuals who can offer support, understanding, or guidance, but she does not allow herself to be overly vulnerable or exposed to everyone. She maintains a level of emotional privacy, keeping certain feelings and struggles between herself and God, or in the presence of a trusted confidant. This allows her to protect her emotional well-being while still being authentic and true to herself. Her ability to manage her emotional responses also means she is less likely to be controlled by fear, jealousy, or insecurity. Instead of allowing negative emotions to govern her actions, she chooses to respond with wisdom and grace. When feelings of inadequacy or comparison arise, she knows how to redirect her thoughts and refocus her energy. She draws strength from within and from her relationship with God, trusting that her value is not determined by external factors or the opinions of others. This inner strength gives her the confidence to remain emotionally steady, even in the face of adversity. The intelligent woman also exercises emotional restraint in her relationships. While it is natural to feel a wide range of emotions, she knows that sharing every emotional reaction with others can lead to strain in her connections. She exercises discernment, sharing her feelings only when necessary and when it will serve to build understanding and closeness. She is careful not to burden others with her emotional baggage, choosing instead to process her emotions in private when possible. In doing so, she maintains healthy boundaries and preserves the emotional balance of her relationships. When faced with criticism or judgment, she chooses not to respond emotionally, but rather with grace and composure. She understands that people may not always understand her decisions, actions, or emotions, but she does not feel the need to defend herself with an emotional outburst. Instead, she listens thoughtfully, reflects on the feedback, and responds with humility and understanding. She knows that emotional defensiveness can make the situation more tense, while a calm and measured response can lead to resolution and mutual respect. In difficult circumstances, she recognizes that emotional reactions are often the result of stress, uncertainty, or fear. When faced with challenging situations, the intelligent woman takes time to process her emotions before making any decisions. She does not allow her fear or stress to dictate her actions. Instead, she relies on her inner wisdom and faith to navigate through the situation. By taking the time to center herself and calm her emotions, she is able to approach the situation with clarity and rationality, making decisions that are aligned with her values and long-term goals. The intelligent woman also acknowledges that emotions are not inherently negative. Emotions such as joy, excitement, and love can be powerful motivators, and she embraces these emotions fully. However, she knows that even positive emotions can be overwhelming if not managed properly. She is able to celebrate her victories and joys without losing sight of her responsibilities or her purpose. Her emotional responses are balanced, allowing her to experience life's highs while staying grounded in her core values and sense of self. She is also aware that emotional control does not mean suppressing or ignoring her feelings. Instead, she allows herself the space to feel and process her emotions in a healthy manner. Whether through journaling, prayer, or simply taking time alone to reflect, she understands the importance of acknowledging her emotions without letting them dictate her actions. She is mindful of her emotional landscape, knowing that emotional awareness is key to maintaining overall well-being. In moments of conflict, the intelligent woman maintains emotional composure, using her emotional intelligence to navigate challenging conversations. She does not allow her emotions to cloud her judgment or derail the discussion. Instead, she listens carefully, asks thoughtful questions, and seeks to understand the other person's perspective. She recognizes that conflict is a natural part of relationships, but she chooses to approach it with maturity and emotional poise, always striving to find common ground and resolution.